What is up, guys? Johnny01 here with another FIFA 16 tutorial. This is an update to my original FIFA 16 custom tactics tutorials, the best custom tactics, and this is an update since the latest patch. The latest patch did change some things, especially with ping-pong passing and defending, so I want to get this video out. This is the new custom tactics that I use in all my formation. The old one still works great, guys, but this is just an added dimension to really take advantage of the new features, of the new advancements, like the ping pong passing and like the defending in the latest patch of FIFA 16. The first option is speed, and I like to move that way up. I like to move it all the way up to 90. You can even move it up to 95 if you really want to. Why do I like that? Because of the new ping pong passing. You really want to get there fast, quick build up play, get those players moving, short little passes, give and goes, and get the ball moving through the middle of the pitch to help facilitate that, to help make your players make those runs that you want them to make, and get those nice little ping pong passes. That's really effective since the latest patch. You want to move that speed up, and I move it now up to 90. I keep passing at 60 just like in my other custom tactic tutorial video. I like to keep it at 60. You can move it up a little bit more or down a little bit more depending on your style, but usually I find that 60 is good enough for my play style. Of course, I keep the positioning at organized as always. Don't really need to make it be any other formation, freeform or cover or whatever the next other option is. You want to keep at organized, make sure they stay in their places and they know exactly where to go to make those runs. Then we move over to chance creation. For chance creation, for passing, again, I like to move that up. I get it around 60. You can even move that higher if you really want to, but I don't really want them to be moving too far up the pitch or making these too much risky of passes. I like them to be nice, short, quick, give and go passes. So instead of making it like a 90 again, I prefer to make this one a little bit lower, keep it at 60, which I believe is default. Then we got crossing. I actually like to keep it where it is at default, which is 40, and that is just because I'm not much of a crosser. I don't really like to cross. If you sometimes like to cross, sometimes don't, you can keep it at 50, 50, 50. If you really like to cross, you can move that higher to 70 or 80. But since I don't like to cross, I don't really want my strikers and my midfielders to be looking for the cross, getting in the middle of the pitch. I prefer them to come help me out so I can give them a regular pass. So in that case, I like to keep my crossing down to 40. Then, of course, we got shooting. I just like to leave it at 50. That's the default. There's really nothing to change. And then, of course, again, in positioning, keep that organized. Make sure they are all in the positioning they're supposed to be, and they all always are organized and not going all over the place. Lastly, guys, defense. Of course, this is very important. I, for pressure, like to move it down all the way to 20. Now, a lot of people want to move that even more than 20, down to like 10, down to 5. I personally think 20 is the sweet spot, because if you move it too far down, then you give them way too much space and they can take long shots, and there's really a huge gap between your midfielders and your back line for them to really take advantage of it. If they're really good at passing, they can really take advantage of that. So I personally like to keep it at around 20. You can do it anywhere between 15 and 30. Those are probably the best options, I think, because that way it's low enough that they'll stay back and it won't be too bad against the counterattack. Usually they'll be back, at least two of them, at least the two center backs will usually be back there to help you out, but I don't want them to be too back where there's a huge space for them to just be able to pass all night long. So definitely like to keep it around 15 to 30, personally 20. The next one is aggression. I like to keep it a little bit lower than my previous custom tactic, and that's 40, just because I don't want them to be putting their feet out and risking it, especially lately with the new patch. You guys already know computer AI control players will not do the work for you, so I want to be as less risky as possible. Then we got team width, of course. Keep it where it is on default, which is 50. No need to move that up or move that down. Just keep them a nice team width. I find 50 is good enough. They're balanced, and they usually are where they're supposed to be. Then lastly, guys, I like to move it to cover. I do not want them to be on offside trap. I don't want any of that. I want them to stay back, stay between the attacker and the goalkeeper. But that's basically it, guys. I hope you guys like this updated custom tactic tutorial. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and share with all your friends. I think this could really help you out. Make sure to switch these tactics before the game, and these last until you exit Ultimate Team. Thank you guys so much for watching. Click on the top left if you want to see my tutorials. Top right if you want to see my Division 1 tip series. Bottom left if you want to see my formation review / guys. Bottom right if you want to see my player review / guys. And of course in the center to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future tutorials or tip videos. Thanks, guys.